Hey there, groom. I'm seeking Monsieur de Versailles. I have a letter for him.
He is not here. You shall have to come back in an hour, Monsieur Faverolles.
You know me?
You offend me, Monsieur former page. Golipo, at your service.
Ah, Golipo, what a godsend. I seek lodgings.
There is no more room in the inns nor at the lodging houses, but if you go to the Pelican Inn and tell them I sent you. It is in a fine location, very close to the Grand Commun.
Where can I find the Pelican Inn?
Just on your left.
Good day to you all. Golipo sent me. He said,
I can do nothing for you until you rid me of this drunkard.
Monsieur, would you please...
I hear nothing, monsieur. Unhand me.
This fellow seems deaf to all reason.
And the same goes for me, as long as he remains.
Monsieur, you have to help me. It's...
Cease bothering me. I'm not the right person.
Come quickly to the Pelican Inn. There's going to be a...
Same old story, I wager. Let's be off.
How dare you treat me in this way?
A bugler who prefers the bottle to music does not annoy honest folk.
By way of thanks, my good gentleman, I have a very pretty room for you. Shall we say 50 livres per month? Payable in advance.
By the devil, I don't have such an amount.
It is more costly when the king is at Versailles. Well?
I can't possibly take lodgings at this price.
Think it over. It won't stay empty forever.
Take these 35 livres now, and gentleman's honour, I shall pay you the rest as soon as possible.
I accept your word, but not for long.
Monsieur de Boisset has returned. He's in the main row of the king's horses.
Ah, Monsieur the Marquis. I thought I might see you, since the Duchesse de Bourgogne's coach is in the great courtyard.
Yes, I have left the princess for a moment. She is with the Countess of Armagnac arranging this evening's ball at Monsieur Legrand's. Pray tell me of this extraordinary theft of all these saddles and caparisons which have vanished.
Can't understand it. How could it happen? With so many people in the stables, and all these other thefts, even from the Dauphin.
Do not despair. As regards the theft of his lordship's diamonds, the king knows the guilty party. He said as much this morning, but did not reveal his name.
Ah, Faverolles. is it you who's been looking for me? How is your father?
I have a letter from him here, monsieur.
You wish to become a diplomat. You are aware that the king is suspicious of those who scorn the military profession. But I cannot refuse your father. You must meet with the Marquis de Torcy, who is responsible for foreign affairs. Here, take this saddle to him in the minister's wing. I have promised it to him. If you are unable to find the minister, give it to Blondel, his head clerk. Good luck, my young friend.
I bring this saddle. Versailles told me to take it to the minister's wing.
Monsieur, I know this usher. Offer him money and he will open all the doors for you. It is so for all these fellows. These valets are more insolent than the masters. The custom here is 1 écu.
By the devil, 3 livres!
The minister is too busy to see you.
What about Monsieur Blondel, then?
Regretfully, the head clerk does not wish to be disturbed. Come back tomorrow. Thank you, monsieur. I shall inform the head clerk.
You have a saddle to give me for the minister. Thank you. Your name, monsieur?
Charles-Louis de Faverolles.
Ah, yes. So your father has returned from Spain?
Very recently, and I wanted to ask for a position in your department, Spain in particular.
You? In foreign affairs? And in Spain? You can't be serious. You, of all people. Matters there are so complex. You would be required to perform very great services for us. Goodbye, monsieur. I have much to do.
Monsieur, may I offer some further advice? Attend the King's Grand Couvert this evening. One sometimes has the opportunity to speak with persons of influence there.
Here I am, installed at last. I've taken my baggage from the coach office. To enter the castle, one must be dressed correctly, hair combed, sword and hat, otherwise entry is barred. Now I'm ready.
You do not enter the Grand Couvert without a recommendation. The king dines in public, true enough, but we can't just let anyone in. The chamber ushers are Maynard and Desnoyers, a pair of real guard dogs. Tomorrow I shall speak with them, but meanwhile, would you like to play with me?
With pleasure. But see here, this is all I have left.
It is not much, that is true. But your trinket shall be your stake.
No, monsieur. I will never risk losing Elvira's locket. My future at Versailles would have to depend on it.
Let us discuss this. I am Assistant Buildings Inspector, and my right-hand man is unwell. You could take the position on condition that you have a modicum of knowledge and no little common sense. I'm going to find out. We are currently working on the decoration of the King's new chamber. Could you tell me in which order you would have the different tradesmen attend the site? Excellent. Meet me tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the Colonnade Grove. We have to erect the statue of Proserpine there. I shall introduce you to Monsieur Mansart. Be warned, he is a difficult person, but if you make a good impression with him, he may well take you on. That would sort out your financial affairs.
In the name of the saints, take this!
But
No discussion, and don't forget our meeting.
What a diamond! Mother of God! That's fine security for a game of teetotum. The principle is a simple one. We each bet on a number and then spin the top. The winning number takes all the stakes. If nobody wins, we bet again, then spin the top again, until a number wins. That will do nicely.
Oh, I don't know what to say. He has been losing since morning. I will be in a little less of a hurry to demand the rest of your debt.
that's me done for now. Not a penny and no diamond. I'll just have to wait until tomorrow.
Which way are we going to turn this group? The sun comes from the east, which is this side, and in the evening it's here. Proserpine is carried off by Pluto, so... Cease prattling on about the upkeep of the groves being too costly. It is your job to do something about it.
I'm not talking about the upkeep, but the constant transformations. Each time we create a new grove, I have to rip it all up to allow the new pipe work to pass through.
Nothing is too good for the king, but it is above all the fantasies of Lenotre, which cost dear.
With all due respect, allow me to tell you that there is nothing. You, monsieur, whom I know not and who might have a fresh view, tell us what you think of the ballroom and the colonnade.
My God, the ballroom and the colonnade. Which is the work of Mansart? One is an architect, the other a gardener. The colonnade looks much newer, your lordship.
Now there's a bright young fellow. Your name, young man?
Charles-Louis de Faverolles, your lordship. I plan to take him on for a while to replace my assistant, who is ill, as you know. Are you of agreement?
Very much so. Take him with you to the terrace this afternoon at 3. The Spanish ambassador, the Marquis de Castel dos Rios, wishes to see the gardens. I warn you that the water will not be flowing in the groves, for this morning the king told the estate that he was delaying his walk.
Meanwhile, here is half of your pay for July, 80 livres. You still have the purse, don't you? Bring it to me right away.
L'Huillier, not so fast. We must speak. Ambassador, this is Monsieur Faverolles, who is to show you around the gardens.
Here are the instructions and the key to the groves.
The key to the groves? I had heard that they were open.
That is correct, they were. But with such a crowd coming from Paris and all over Europe, much damage was occurring. Her Majesty was forced to close them and is reluctant to reopen. She has always wanted to offer the pleasure they provide to all. Well, let us begin, Ambassador. We shall meet later on the King's Walk. And you can tell me of your visit.
Such grandeur! I pride myself on knowing the gardens of Versailles well, through books. I have several compendiums of engravings. I also have that of the sculptures in my pocket. But I can't identify the different parts. Please forgive me if I ask too many questions. For example, I have forgotten the name of this long path with such a grand view. What is it? La Grande Allée? La Coulée Verte? Le Tapis Vert? L'Avenue de Venise?
Le tapis vert.
Yes, of course. And this tremendous view, is it an east-west or north-south direction?
East-west.
Why, certainly. It follows the course of the sun. Good. Let us go down to the groves.
Perhaps we could first have a brief look at the orangery?
Well, here we are above the famous orangery. How splendid to see so many of the trees we have in our Spanish gardens planted here. These orange trees, trees of the sun. And these beds broken up by lawns designed by Monsieur Le Nôtre. What is the name of this grove?
It is the ballroom, one of Monsieur Le Nôtre's finest creations.
Ah, I recognize the colonnade. To return to our conversation on Spain, what my master, King Charles II, who is dying without an heir, fears more than anything is that foreign powers, France, the Empire, England, and Holland, secretly plan to divide up all Spanish possessions.
Have there not already been attempts?
Indeed there have, but up until now they have failed. So you were in Spain with Queen Marie-Louise, for whom your mother was a maid. Today, the new queen is German, and in her entourage there is a certain Countess of Perlitz, who is causing us a good deal of concern. So this is the giant Encelade who dared to defy Jupiter and was punished. A real lesson in politics. His story does not, however, form part of the legend of Apollo. Apollo, who is in reality your sovereign, Louis XIV, the Sun King. So, which are the garden sculptures that portray the legend of Apollo?
There are many. If you lend me your compendium of engravings, it will help me to answer you.
So, which are the garden sculptures that portray the legend of Apollo?
This one is part of it. It's Apollo's chariot.
Yes, we just saw it.
No, this one is not part of it.
You are right. It is the abduction of Proserpine by Pluto. This magnificent marble group of Monsieur Girardon, which must be placed in the colonnade.
Yes, this one is part of it.
That is correct. Apollo is here as a child with his mother Laton.
This one is part of it.
Yes, it is Apollo being waited on by nymphs. Where are you taking me now?
I am taking you to another grove.
Ah, here is Arbre de Fer Grove. I believe it is also known as Marais Grove or Chêne Vert Grove. This is definitely my favorite grove. How many groves are there in total? 8? 12? 14?
14.
We shall see the others on another occasion. Let us return to the castle. It is almost 5 o'clock. This visit has enchanted me. Just now you spoke of a maiden named Elvira, whose full name discretion prevented you from revealing. But the more I think of it, the more I feel sure I know it. Could it not be Elvira Malaga y Santiago?
Indeed it is. How extraordinary. Do you know her?
She is the daughter of a very close friend of mine. As for your desire to leave for Spain, I shall prepare a passport for you. Ah, I see the King's Walk is beginning. Look, the Duc d'Anjou is there too. I bid your leave, Monsieur Faverolles. I hope to see you very soon.
I shall pay a visit to Lillier at his home in the Grand Commun. He had such a worried air. I wonder what Mansart wanted of him.
Have you come back to play teetotum? It's a very fine game, is it not?
I shall only play for the diamond.
Oh, a big game then. Sit yourself down. Do you recall the rules? We bet, then we spin, and if nobody wins, we start again. curses! I wasn't rich for long. The diamond's yours once more.
I remind you that you owe me 15 livres.
I gave you my word. Here it is.
Halt! No entry.
So what is this guard doing on the stairs?
The Prevost guard came and arrested Monsieur L'Huillier. He is in his room, gathering his belongings. The kitchen hand brought him his dinner, but he returned very late. I was going to take it up to him when the guards arrived.
It is absolutely vital that I see L'Huillier. But how? It is Monsieur L'Huillier's meal. He has the right to eat, does he not?
Go on, enter. Make it fast.
Monsieur L'Huillier's meal.
The prisoner still has the right to eat. Enter.
Faverolles, what are you doing here?
What has happened to you, monsieur?
You do have the purse I gave you.
Yes?
Save me! Give it to his lordship the Dauphin or one of his sons. Find them quickly. It is absolutely vital that the Dauphin speaks to his father, the king. My life is at stake. Did you succeed in seeing Monsieur L'Huillier?
Yes. Now I must find his lordship and get him to speak with the king.
The Dauphin? I have heard that he was at his castle at Meudon with two of his sons, the Dukes de Bourgogne and Berry. Only the Duc d'Anjou remains at Versailles.
All the same, I cannot just leave like a lackey.
Monsieur, you cannot approach the king on his walk.
But it is absolutely vital that I see the Duc d'Anjou.
Orders are the same for their lordships the princes.
Could you give this to the Duc d'Anjou on behalf of L'Huillier and ask him to speak to His Majesty in his favour?
I shall give this purse to the prince and insist that he speak to the king without delay.
Monsieur, you are still too new at court to know that I am a close friend of Monsieur de Torcy, who is in charge of foreign affairs. At the Grand Écurie a few months ago, I heard you express a desire to become a diplomat. I could be useful to you. I ask you in return to inform the great scientist, Monsieur de Bondol, of the secrets of our fountains.
Monsieur le Duc, you know that I work under orders from Monsieur Mansart now. It is he with whom Monsieur de Bandol should meet.
Not so. Monsieur Monsard's time is far too precious, and I ask you to exercise the utmost discretion in this matter. You shall not have cause to regret it.
First of all, I need the plans for the hydraulic networks, those which bring the water to Versailles, and those which distribute it around the gardens.
Monsieur le Ministre, I hear that the King of Spain's condition is deteriorating badly.
So it appears.
And there's also much talk of the partition of his succession.
It seems there's no shortage of talk.
I seek information about the fountains. Can you help me?
Clearly you need a hydraulics engineer, but we are all too busy. We are short-handed.
I seek information about the
Clearly you need...
I seek information about the fountains. Can you help me?
I only know the master, Monsieur Dupuis. He is at the Marais, but he's not a hydraulics engineer.
The taking out of the orange trees, it is always an enormous task in May, and I have only seasonal workers to assist me. They know nothing of precious trees. Yes, that's right. A lemon tree, an orange tree, a pomegranate tree.
I was seeking you because I hear that you know all about fountains.
Really? All my best gardeners are in the orange tree, and the others are carrying trees to the grand apartments. The king desires them everywhere, but they do not thrive indoors. What were you saying?
I require the plans of the hydraulic networks.
Come, quickly, monsieur. A gardener has been injured with a large billhook while pruning the trees, and he has fallen from the chapel turret.
Take over from me, and I shall give you the documents you seek. Do not forget the correct order. A lemon tree, an orange tree, a pomegranate tree. Well, you're not bad at all. Shall I bring the documents to your home?
At the Grand Commun. Goodbye, monsieur, and thank you.
So, where have you been, my young friend?
I worked all afternoon.
Good. You shall show all this to me, but first you should know that it is absolutely essential that I myself introduce water to a grove.
That won't be easy. The best one would be the colonnade, but...
I shall be at the colonnade at 10 tomorrow morning. Now, let us work.
La Perdrix, at your service. Oh, monsieur, what I would give to be leaving with you.
Alas, I have nothing to give you, and I am not leaving.
Oh, I beg your pardon, sire. I'm quite confused. I meant to say to stay with you.
Look at us, a chef's assistant who wishes to become a valet, and an assistant inspector who dreams of nothing but Spain. Let us be gone, Le Perdrix. I have much to do.
We require equipment.
There is a hydraulics engineer down there. We saw each other yesterday. I've considered what you told me about your workforce, and I shall be speaking with Monsieur Mansart on the matter. Favrol, Assistant Inspector of Buildings.
TK, at your service. Forgive me, monsieur. I didn't recognize you. You work with His Lordship, the Superintendent. What can I do for you?
Give me your clavier and your whistle.
Here you are, monsieur. Also, while making my rounds, I found this mallet. It's an exquisite piece. You know better than I who to give it to. You go and position yourself close to the valve outside the colonnade. When I blow on the whistle, you increase the pressure. When I blow twice, decrease it.
Have you taken leave of your senses, monsieur? The water can only be activated on Her Majesty's orders, and the whistle is sounded for she alone. The fact that only the small fountains flow when the king is at Versailles is not so that an assistant buildings inspector can use up the reserves. So, you want to play big fountains? I'll speak to Mansart.
Monsieur de Bandol is an esteemed hydraulic scientist.
Another one?
Yes, but he invented perpetual movement. The Duc d'Orcueil does not wish that Monsieur Monsard boasts of having discovered it.
Very well, I shall say nothing, but do not try it again.
I promise you as much, and return to you the portfolio, which has been very useful to us.
You make a fine hydraulics engineer with your mallet.
These tests have proved highly instructive. I shall be able to update my notes.
So much the better, monsieur. I shall take my leave, as I must find the owner of this mallet.
Do you recall my offer of a passport, Monsieur de Faverolles?
Of course, Ambassador.
If you wish, I shall bring it to you in the Arbre de Fer Grove at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, Ambassador, the latest news of the health of your sovereign is quite alarming, but perhaps you are not at liberty to speak now.
Indeed, this young man is as concerned as you are, Monsieur le Marquis. He is French, but also Spanish at heart, for he spent his childhood there.
Yes, all that affects Spain is of importance to me.
What an exquisite mallet, with the arms of the sons of France. It can only belong to 3 people here.
His Royal Highness is engaged. Return later.
My lord, could this mallet belong to your Royal Highness?
No, monsieur.
My lord, could this mallet belong to your Royal Highness?
No, monsieur.
Thank you for returning my mallet to me. Monsieur, could you fetch that ball for us?
Right away, your lordship.
Thank you, monsieur. You are most kind. Take this note. I have heard tell that affairs in Spain are of interest to you. I have a secret. When the king works with Monsieur de Torcy at Madame de Maintenon's, I hear everything from the wardrobe. Be in the ballroom at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I shall prove it to you.
But, curses. I had no chance to tell her that I'm otherwise engaged at that hour.
A love letter from such a comely individual. How I envy you. I saw you take it, but I shall not dwell on the matter. Come therefore to Lancelade this afternoon. There shall be a furious game of lansquenet.
I shall join you there. I'm going to dine presently.
As you have seen, I am a jack of all trades, and will serve you with the utmost indiscretion. Make that discretion.
Right at this moment, what I need is a hydraulics engineer.
Oh, really, monsieur? My brother is a hydraulics engineer, and he shall not serve you as well as me. On this occasion, monsieur, it is you who shall oblige me. Here is something to eat, and forget about these letters.
Are you as discreet as you pretend, La Perdrix? These letters are not destined for you, that much I know.
How would I know that, since I have not read them?
It is Monsieur de Boiseuil who has had them brought here.
Insolent fellow, you're lucky that I'm hungry.
Faverolles, take my place. The gods are against me. They smile on youth alone. Cancel out all my debts. Without you, I would have been ruined and forced to leave the court. Take this.
Monsieur le Duc, I cannot accept it.
You offend me. I do this as a friend.
I would rather you spoke to me about Mademoiselle Prosperine.
The goddaughter of the Marquise de Maintenon? She is a beautiful girl, but let me warn you not to get too close to her. The Marquise wants to marry her off to the old Comte de Maillebois, who lost his only son in the war and has no heirs. Madame de Maintenon is queen here. If you displease her, you are cutting your own throat. That reminds me. Bandol wants to visit the underground tunnels.
Ambassador, Elvira's letters, which I received through Boiseuil, make me more eager than ever to leave.
I have your passport, but your king has just told me that he has promised my sovereign to let nobody enter Spain. You are the king's officer. I cannot give it to you.
What can I do for you?
Warn Mademoiselle Prosperine. She's waiting for me.
I cannot do that, but if you know the song she likes best, I will play it to attract her attention.
It's a very well-known song. I've heard it often.
Bring me the music, and I'll play it for you.
Are you a musician?
Ah, how could you doubt it?
I need to know the title of a song.
I can play you these pieces of music, and perhaps you'll recognize the song you want. It's 2 livres a copy. Is that your song?
Yes, that's the one. What's that song called?
It's Luli's Ceremony Took. Sir, which song?
It's the Ceremony Turk. Here's the music.
Ah, the great Lully. What a genius. He may be dead, but his music is immortal.
How kind of you to have my favourite song played to tell me of your presence. Take this, monsieur. Only open this letter when you are at home. And above all, do not keep it. Burn it. I leave you with regret.
I'm now home. I can read the letter Prosperine gave me. The king has signed an agreement with England and Holland to divide the Spanish kingdoms. Neither the Empire nor Spain must find out. The treaty is secret. Should I keep it or destroy it?
It's me. I have made good progress with my work, but I cannot get any further without examining the pipework in the underground tunnels.
What do we need?
I need measuring instruments to check the diameter of the pipes and the gradients. Go and get them from my room at the inn. Here's the key. Then we will need the key for the entrance to the underground tunnels. When you've got all that, meet me in the clearing behind the Beret Grove.
I'll take care of everything. You did tell me your brother was a hydraulic engineer, didn't you?
Yes?
Right. The keys to the tunnels that pass under the gardens. I shall need them this morning.
I'll go and see my brother. Right away. He will help you.
Hey, monsieur, where are you going?
Don't you recognize me? I've come to get the instruments for Monsieur de Bandol. He's given me his key.
Don't forget to give Monsieur de Bandol's keys back to him.
Has La Perdrix returned?
Yes, but a Swiss man from Bonton came asking about you. While I was answering the Swiss fellow, La Perdrix made his escape. He hid something here for you, but I didn't see where.
You haven't seen Monsieur de Bandol, have you?
Yes, I saw him enter the little clearing on the right after the iron gate.
What on earth were you up to? I nearly lost patience. Come on, we've lost enough time already.
Don't speak so loudly. Don't forget that I'm risking my career by helping you.
Right. Once in the underground passages, you must measure the pipe diameters with the spring-adjusting calipers and check the gradients with the spirit level. Let's go now.
By order of the king, you will kindly empty your pockets. I must seize the letter that Mademoiselle Prosperine gave you. Here's what I was looking for.
Luckily I burned the other letter. This one will certainly amuse Madame de Maintenon. Monsieur le Duc, Monsieur de Bandol was seen by a Swiss man from Bonton while I was taking measurements in the hydraulic tunnels. Monsieur Mansart will learn of this.
It's of no importance, as the work was going well, thanks to your efforts. I spoke of it to the king this morning. His Majesty congratulated me on my zeal in serving his great passion for fountains. He is going to grant Bandol alone the privilege of building the machines for raising the water. I owe my return to favour to you. Let us go and find Torcy. He should be coming out of the council meeting. My dear Marquis, here is Monsieur Faverolles, of whom I have spoken. The boy could be of great use to you.
We shall see.
I shall leave you now. I am going to the Petit Couvert, now that I have found favour with His Majesty once more. It would not be a good time to be absent.
The letter has been heated, but it is in code. The code breakers have returned it to me without having solved everything. Would you like to try? You are gifted. I had decoded it myself. As a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite hobbies. But who is P? The message came to us without the name of the person to whom it was addressed. We have not been able to find out.
Monsieur, I might perhaps hazard a guess. Could it be the Comtesse de Perlitz?
That scheming woman. Why didn't I think of her? She is crossing France at this very moment. I know she is currently at Bondy. She must be prevented from coming to court. I shall prepare an imprisonment order from the king to stop her. A horseman will deliver it.
Give me the task of delivering it myself, Minister. It'll be a way of proving my devotion.
Very well. I shall have the order brought to you at the écurie when it is ready. Ask Versailles to give you the best horse in the stables and the directions for the stage posts. If you succeed, I shall present you to His Majesty this very evening.
What are you doing here, Faverolles?
A very urgent matter on the king's business. I must get to Bondy as soon as possible.
All of the men in the ecurie are in the king's service, and thus in yours.
You seem in a great hurry. Can I help you?
By order of the king, Golipo, I need the best horse you've got.
That one there, next to the wagon.
Which is the best of all these horses?
The English racers with short tails are certainly the fastest.
I have to get to Bondy as quickly as possible, by order of the king.
I shall go and prepare your stages.
Which is the best of all these horses?
No doubt about it. The racer with the white muzzle.
Here is the order.
I shall have to saddle this horse. Monsieur Marquis, I've delivered the order personally, and here I am.
Good. Now stay with me. Sire, would you grant me the honor of presenting Monsieur de Faverolles to His Majesty?
Monsieur, we have just learned of your merits, and wish to give you instance of our satisfaction. Upon coming out of the council, His Majesty spoke of yet another new rumour. This time the Duc d'Anjou was supposed to have been named by the King of Spain in his will, but His Majesty laughed at the idea, saying that his grandson had no chance.
Forgive me, monsieur, I was there. His Majesty simply said that France would not fall into a trap so easily, and I maintain that the Duc d'Anjou has the most legitimate claim to the throne.
By God! Monsieur has scarcely arrived here, and already he presumes to instruct us, we who have been the king's ushers, chaplains, equerries, and valets for over 20 years. Well, gentlemen, let us not leave the table until we've heard him out. The floor's yours, Mr. Cleverboots.
I must firstly rule out all persons who are reigning, or called upon to reign, from the succession. That done, I shall only have to follow the order of succession to determine the order of succession.
My word, he certainly got out of that all right. Well, let's get on with things.
Master, Monsieur le Duc d'Arcueil begs that you will join him immediately at the Small. It is important.
Ha! I understand your language now. You mean the mall.
That's what I said.
We were expecting you, Favron. It seems you are a player of the first rank. Monseigneur wishes you to join in his game.
Faverolles, after you.
Be careful. The prince does not like to lose. 2 against 2, then. 100 livres per game.
D'accueil, it's been a pleasure playing with your young friend. I would make him part of my retinue willingly, but that depends on His Majesty. You will be there at the ball tonight, of course.
Master, you look as prince a handsome.
Well, no, actually,
No, handsome as a sinister. As a minister.
I give up. Put this away and good night to you. Now I'm ready.
Sir, I truly admire your courage. You say out loud that the Duc d'Anjou will be King of Spain, and you are right. Everyone here wishes it, but no one dares to say it. Will you accept my friendship?
I'd be honored.
Monsieur, the Comte de Maillebois, whom my godmother wished me to marry, has just died. I am now free, but I am afraid she will make me enter Saint-Cyr. Monsieur, save me. She is watching us. I shall have to go.
My friend, I saw you talking with Madame de Maintenon's protégé. That young lady disturbs me. Even I am surprised at how much she affects me. I've never been under such a spell before. I see her, I blush, I go pale, but she seems to avoid me. Will you tell her how much I admire her?
Faverolles, you'd be my champion then. I'm not just speaking of pell-mell.
Monseigneur, I would give my life for your Royal Highness.
Ah, Monsieur Faverolles, do you recognize this medallion that the Swiss gentleman has just given me? Very well. Yesterday evening, I noticed how attentive you were to my goddaughter Prosperine. This medallion proves that you are deceiving her. I shall not let you break this child's heart.
Mademoiselle Prosperine is charming, but I have no inclination towards her. This medallion is the portrait of the young lady I love, who is Spanish. My dearest wish is to leave for Spain in the king's service, so that I can marry her.
You have today in which to convince me. I must have irrefutable proof. I am now leaving for Saint-Cyr. I shall only be returning at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and will leave 1 hour later to join His Majesty at Marly. You will give your proof to Vernol, here.
Madame, you shall have it, or I shall vanish from the court.
Ah, here is the fine kingmaker. Yes, madame, didn't you know that the will pronounces in favour of the Archduke? Farewell, aunt. I am now leaving for Marly in the king's carriage.
You should know, my friend, that caution is the first rule here. People believed you. Now they are angry with you.
I hope this will teach you not to go meddling in affairs that are out of your depth.
Monsieur, how badly you have treated me. You love another. I never want to see you again.
I am certain that no one overheard us yesterday. As for our friendship, let's not speak of that any more.
Monsieur le Duc, I am desperate. Madame de Maintenon, Mademoiselle Prosperine.
I know, I heard it all. There's only one person who can help you. Didn't the Marquis de Castel dos Rios promise you a passport? That's the proof you need. I saw him going towards the gardens.
Could you give this plan of the Trianon to the Marquis de Castel dos Rios? He asked me to have it designed like the one built by Monsieur Le Nôtre. He's deep in conversation. I can't interrupt him, and I must leave. It appears that the powerful folk in Spain are very agitated.
I have the same information.
And that they are intending to place Spanish men in all the important positions.
That's natural enough.
And that they are planning to take certain measures against France?
It could well be the case. Did you know that the king went to see the Duc d'Anjou at the Écurie this morning?
No, I didn't know. I shall see you very soon, Monsieur le Marquis.
I'm giving you this on behalf of Monsieur Dupuis. Have you got the passport you promised me? I'm in desperate need. My reputation with Madame de Maintenon depends on it.
You did well to wait for the Comte to leave, as I could not have talked to you with him present. As for the passport, here it is. Did you know that letters from Spain are no longer getting through?
That is very worrying, as my father let me know via Monsieur de Versailles that we will be getting no more news from Elvira.
You should find out more about the situation from the riders.
They say that letters are being stopped at the Spanish border.
Yes. I believe this is the work of the Dutch. Moreover, one of them approached me and spoke of Monsieur d'Arquet, but I'm certain that he was after my letters. Ah, here's the Duke coming towards us. He's seen us. I can't avoid him. Give me some reason to get away, and then you shall hear the rest of my story.
Faverolles, are you here? I thought you were busy seeing to the Marquise de Maintenon's request.
And I thought you were at Marly, Monsieur le Duc. Didn't you go after all? I can't interrupt them. I must find a way to attract the rider outside.
You've been a long time. The Duke could be mixed up in this affair, but I don't have any proof. What I do know is that the Dutchman is here at Versailles. I passed him yesterday, near the Grand Commun.
Thanks, friend. See you soon.
You seem to be very worried, Master. I shall remain close by your side.
Here is the proof for a Marquise de Maintenon.
I shall hurry off and give it to her. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Have you seen a Dutchman around here?
A Dutchman? No. I've only got an Englishman who spends his whole time writing. He doesn't even notice when his beer is brought up. He only goes out to post his letters, else he'd be suffocated by all that paper. Ah! These wretched kids that go breaking my windows.
I must get into his room to see what he's writing. Le Perdrix, go up into his room, have a good look round, and bring back something he's written if you can.
I can't go up empty-handed.
This is for you.
How suspicious that Englishman is. He's got papers everywhere with seals, numbers and letters on them. What's he up to? I wanted to pick one up, but he got angry, so I left.
This can't wait any longer. I must steal a safe conduct from this Englishman. I shall have to get into his room and distract his attention in order to seize his papers. I can't get close to him very easily. I must find a way of distracting his attention. Take this stone and throw it at the Englishman's window.
Now what?
I've come to take the tray.
Very well. I'll open up. This is outrageous. If I had the time, I'd thrash those louts. How does one put up with so many beggars everywhere? What are you doing? Give back what you've just taken.
Just...
You asked for it. Defend yourself if you're...
Guard!
Now what?
I've...
Very... This is outrageous. Tell the innkeeper to change my room.
Very good, monsieur. I'll do it right away.
Defend yourself if you're a gentleman.
Guards! On no account draw your sword, monsieur. His Majesty is implacable if anybody fights.
Stop! Guards! Seize that man!
Faverolles,
Sire?
be here when I get back from the chapel. I shall need you.
My son is coming from Madrid. Elvira has been abducted by the German faction. She is being accused of spying. All the letters she wrote to you have been seized. We must fear the worst.
I will do all in my power to save her. But how?
The Comte de Zinzendorf is the only person here who can get her freed. I can do nothing personally.
I need to see him, but I have very little time. The King's Mass only lasts half an hour.
Hurry! He's in the gardens at present, in the Mare Grove.
Monsieur the Ambassador?
Don't bother me. I'm waiting for someone.
Congratulations, monsieur. I have a passport for you from Monsieur de Torcy, but I would also like to talk to you about Mademoiselle Prosperine.
1,000 thanks, but forgive me, Monsieur le Duc. I must speak to the Comte de Zinzendorf immediately.
It's not a very good time. Torcy was furious with him. Zinzendorf asked him for an audience with the king. Torcy wanted to know the reason, but as Zinzendorf wouldn't tell him, Torcy told him roundly that he wouldn't take the message.
His Majesty...
Have you been sent by the king?
Not exactly, but I could help you as regards your audience with the king.
Why would you want to help me?
It's a delicate matter. I have just learned that a certain young lady, called Elvira, has been abducted in Madrid. I can assure you on my honor as a gentleman that she is not mixed up in any political business. I have the tenderest sentiments for her, and I shall do all within my power to save her.
Very well. I believe you. I will be able to help you, but in return I must see the king urgently today. My master, the Emperor, has given me carte blanche to settle a matter of extreme importance.
You shall have your audience. I have to go to the chateau and the king's business. Then I shall see Monsieur de Torcy when he arrives for the council meeting.
Monsieur de Faverolles.
Sire?
I am expecting a rider from Madrid sometime today. I want you to bring him to me as soon as he arrives.
Has the rider from Madrid arrived?
No, we're still waiting for him.
Has the rider from Madrid arrived?
No, we're still waiting for him.
Please hurry, monsieur. The king's council is about to begin.
Monsieur le Comte de Zinzendorf...
What?
Allow me to insist. It so happens that the Comte de Zinzendorf has full powers for signing the Treaty of Division.
Good. I shall speak of it to His Majesty immediately. Meanwhile, it appears that your Englishman has been arrested in the gardens. I want you to go and check that it really is your man. As for our business, come back and see me in the minister's wing.
It seems they've arrested someone in the gardens.
I'm far too busy to listen to all the rumours flying around. I have to finish my task and go to the mall to prune the big trees.
It seems they have arrested someone in the gardens?
I have no idea. I've only been told that a madman wanted to throw himself from the turret used to prune the tallest trees.
It seems they've arrested someone in the gardens?
Yes, some madman.
It isn't an Englishman, is it?
I cannot tell you. It's a state secret.
It seems a madman wanted to throw himself from the turret?
Yes, monsieur, I was there. Seeing that he couldn't escape the guards, the man climbed up onto the turret and tried to jump off, but the guards managed to catch him in time. It was a foreigner.
Now you yourself have changed into a swordfish, master. Look out for the sword.
Stop being insolent. I am not a spy.
Insolent? I who am so devoted to you? Command what you will, and I'll prove it.
Go to the Grande Écurie.
Very well, master. What shall I do there?
The king has ordered me to bring him the rider from Madrid. Find him and bring him to me when he arrives. I shall be at the ballroom all afternoon.
Ah, there you are, Faverolles. The minister is dining in company, but I shall go and warn him. Wait there, please.
So, Monsieur le Marquis, what about the audience?
His Majesty said, "I'll see."
The man who was arrested is definitely the English spy. I've managed to decode a message that he...
Another fake. You will show it to Blondel.
I've just left the king. His Majesty had a fancy for leaving by the terrace for his hunting trip.
I shall go at once.
Faverolles, go and tell the Comte de Zinzendorf that I shall give him audience.
Immediately, sire.
Tell Monsieur de Torcy as well. The rider is still not here.
No, sire.
Ambassador! Oh, join us for a game of blind man's bluff?
Madame, I should be delighted to oblige your highness, but...
Go away, you've offended me. Ah, here comes Monsieur de Faverolles. He shall be our blind man.
Yes? It's Monsieur...
The happiest man in the world.
Yes? His Majesty will receive you at 6 o'clock, after the hunt.
Monsieur, my word is my bond. Here is the letter that I have prepared for our ambassador in Madrid, but you must deliver it into his hands alone.
I owe you 1,000 thanks, Monsieur le Comte. I must now just ask for leave to depart, and Elvira will be saved.
Elvira is safe, but our nation has lost her greatness. The Treaty of Division will be signed and the imperialists will reign in Madrid. The Duc d'Anjou will never be King of Spain. Love has triumphed, but you must abandon all hope of ever living in our kingdom.
No, all is not lost. We must persuade the ambassador to refuse the audience of his own accord, and I have perhaps the means to do this. Ambassador, may I show you this letter, which was found on an English spy?
An Englishman? Are you sure? It's not possible. If this is not genuine, that changes everything. How can we get at the truth?
Someone in this gathering can tell us. I shall go and see if he's arrived. You must wait for me here.
I shall wait.
The rider is with me.
He hardly let me catch my breath. What's happening?
Follow me. Tell us what the message is.
The King of Spain is not dead, and he has not yet named his successor.
There are so many false messengers. Why should I believe this one?
His Majesty has given orders for this man to be brought to him personally. Come with me and you shall see.
That will be unnecessary. I must face the facts. You will tell His Majesty that I withdraw from the audience. What I had to tell him is no longer urgent. Madame, I am taking advantage of this unexpected event to come and surprise you. The ambassador of Vienna, who wanted to see me immediately, is no longer in such a hurry. I would ask you to tell the Duc d'Arquet that I have fixed his betrothal with Mademoiselle Prosperine for next week. As for you, Faverolles, I willingly grant you the leave you request. But come back to us from Spain quickly. Monsieur, here is your king.
Sire, it is almost impossible for me to express to your Majesty the joy and honor I have in offering him the first tributes from so many nations.
Ambassador, all the people of the great nation of Spain have expressed their wish to call upon my grandson, Philippe Duc d'Anjou, to be their king. And I agree to it with all my heart. Behold the King of Spain! His birth destined him to this crown, and the late king also through his will. It is a command from heaven, and I have agreed with pleasure. Gentlemen, Faverolles.
Sire?
Monsieur de Faverolles, as I wish everyone to be happy on this day, I would ask you to follow my grandson to Spain, where I believe someone is waiting for you.